First off, is extremely humbling. I don't know why and how the mayor and the city council came up with that thought, but I appreciate it tremendously. And when you live and you're from a place that you truly love, it's really a unbelievable honor for a group of people to decide we want to do this for you on a certain day, and especially to have it on Saturday of Colonial. I mean, it makes it even more special.
What part of town are you from?
I grew up in Colleyville area.
And you went to high school?
At Fort Worth Christian.
Fort Worth Christian.
I went to high school, Fort Worth Christian, college at Abilene Christian.
Okay. And you've been with CBS for?
I've been at CBS since 1976. I came out here to Colonial when I was a junior at Abilene Christian University. Asked Chuck Will, who was Frank Chikinian's right-hand person, for a job. He told me to come back on Thursday. I came back Thursday. He put me on the 18th tower working for Pat Summerall, and that's how I got started. Pat was, and while he spoke, Tom Brookshire, his old football partner, always would say, if someone needed to tell me I was dying, I'd want Pat to do it because it would make me feel a lot better coming out of his voice. So I'm sitting on the tower, nervous as all get out, knowing that not only Pat Summerall is going to be there, but Ken Venturi is going to be sitting next to him. And Pat walked up, and he looked like Goliath. I stood up and I said, Mr. Summerall, I'm Lance Barrow. I'm going to work for you this week. Any advice, anything you want to tell me? And he said, don't get excited. Don't call me Mr. Summerall. Hand me a beer out of that cooler. And that was what he told me. And I ended up working for him for 6 years. One of the great times, one of the great people I've ever met, not only in our business, but in any walk of life I've ever been a part of. Pat Summerall was a true superstar. Well, my number one moment was at the time I was sitting next to Frank Chikinian, the legendary Frank Chikinian, who created golf television, in the '86 Masters when Jack won his 6th green jacket, Nicholas won his 6th green jacket. That's a great moment. Obviously, being only the second person in the history of television to produce the Masters in 1997 and having Tiger Woods win not only his first Masters but his first major and win it in such fashion, it's a great moment. And also, unrelated to golf, was doing Super Bowl this February. I'll produce Super Bowl 50, which will be a great honor. Doing the Olympics and doing Daytona 500, producing Daytona 500 when Dale Earnhardt only time he ever won at that great race.
Did you imagine getting that beer for Pat Summerall, whatever lead to all of this?
No, I was just trying to survive that first weekend, and then I asked him if I could go with him 2 weeks later to Ohio to do the first ever memorial tournament, and he says sure. And that was where I got my largest raise ever in my career. I went from making $60 here at Colonial to making $80 at Memorial, and then I was off and running with Pat. And it was what it really was. There's a lot of people, great blessing, but a lot of people kind of took interest in me, and the main one being Pat Summerall, who was such a great guy and wanted me to succeed. That's how I kept going. And he wanted me to learn, and he made sure I was a part of any learning time that I had with him. And so he never put me over in the corner, and he never said go do this or go do that while I'm doing this. I was always right there with him. Well, I mean, Super Bowl 50 is obviously a great milestone. To think that there's only been 50 Super Bowls. I've done already 3 of them myself. But think there's not a lot of people who have ever produced a Super Bowl anyway. But to be asked by CBS to be the one who's going to actually do the producing Super Bowl 50, that's a big honor. Obviously, continue to do golf and football, continue to get to work with Jim Nance and our crew on golf, and then Jim Nance and Phil Simms and Tracy Wolfen on our football crew, and all the production and technical people I get to work with. This past year we did Thursday Night Football. We did 30 football games in one fall. This coming year we'll do 31. and being the most ever. So, I don't ever look at really milestones. I just look at, I want to continue to be able to do the work that I'm asked to do at CBS Sports, to be able to be around the greatest professionals in production and technical there is around the people I get to work with at CBS. And that's, I just don't want to ever disappoint anybody, and that's what I'm heading to do hopefully the next 10 years of my career.